Hey guys, in my last video I was putting up about the 85 Ford. Something went wrong and I think I know what it was. And I set it up to show you a couple pictures of his 96 and of the 85. Now, quickly I'll show you the pictures and I'm going to do a recap basically and show you the way it was supposed to look in the video. But the first picture I think was showing was this picture right here, and this is of the 96 Ford when it was brand new. I don't think he even had it home about a week, and I took this picture right here. Now, if you notice, this is the two-tone with the blue in the middle. Now, here's the 85 Ford. This is the picture that I was talking about on there, where it was parked on the other side of the barn. And then this is the other picture that I added in. This was taken mid-90s, I believe it was. Now, I also have a picture here that I found, and there will be more. I'll show them after I do the recap. But I figured I'd show this one. This one, I don't remember what year it was taken, but this is the 85. Now, if you look at the two of them, they're very similar. The 85 is a slightly darker color, but they were both the same paint scheme, and they were both extended cab long box. So I'll show you the recap, and then I'll show you some more pictures. This is the plow truck, and the plow, big old heavy duty. You can't really see it the greatest, but it's a big old heavy duty Fisher plow. And this plow has been around for longer than this truck has been around, because it was on a previous truck, a 79 Ford. Now, a 79, I wish he would have kept that, or wish I was old enough to buy it off of him. He traded it in for this truck. And then he found out after he traded in, if I can find the damn latch, after he traded in for this truck, that down, let's see, I think it's the passenger side, down the whole side of the passenger side, it hit a guardrail and just wasted, like dented and screwed up the whole side. And they fiberglassed up the truck, made it look good, sold it again. He didn't find this out until like a year or so later, and some guy goes, "Oh, my old truck," and he was telling him about, "Oh, I hit a guardrail, it was in the ice, slid into it, messed up the whole side of the truck." He goes, "It looks good." Well, the problem was, when he bought the truck, the dealership ran right out and said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with that truck." And he had a magnet on there, which is always smart. When you buy a vehicle, you should look it over real good, make sure it's not a Bondo bucket, and, you know, check it out. Check out everything. Take somebody with you if you don't know what you're doing, to make sure if it's got any ticks or any other problems with it. Instead, you know, he went there, he knew what he was looking for, the lady's talking to him, so, "Oh, there's nothing, that truck's perfect." And there was Bondo all up the one side, and I believe it was the passenger side, which the passenger side actually still looks decent on this truck, except for the fender. That fender, it'd probably be better to replace it, that, or do like Pisser does and cut it out and replace. But I bet you if you got into this and actually took this fender off, it's worse than it looks. I mean, if you look along in here, you can't see it too well on the camera, but there's spots all along through it. So I'm gathering, yeah, it's not worth it. The bottom of it is gone. So this whole fender should be replaced. I've seen them on eBay and Craigslist and everything else. So parts, you can get parts, but depends on how much you want to pay and where you're getting it from. This truck, I have a couple pictures I'm going to show of what it looked like in the past. I have two pictures of this truck, and then one picture to show his newer 96. It's not new anymore, but the picture is of when it was brand new, when he first got it, parked actually right here. In front of this barn of his. And the other picture was taken over on this side, the second door right here. And this was taken years ago, probably about 10, 15 years ago, which at that time, you'll see that there was posts when I was looking out this direction. The posts are gone. There's an addition built onto the house since then. So, a lot of changes over the years. Same truck though. This truck he bought when I was, what the hell was I? Bought it in 97, or no, excuse me, 87. Big difference, about 10 years. Bought it in 87. I was 6 years old when he bought this truck, and it was 2 years old when he bought it. So the guy that owned it before him, I don't know if he had it on a lease or if he bought it outright or how he had it, but after that he had it cracked up, he decided he wanted a different truck or however it worked, and so then my father bought it. Now when he went to look at this truck, there was a cap on the back, and he didn't want a cap, so they kept it, which now he tells me he should have kept it, but that's beside the point. But this style of truck, the extended cab long box, if you're looking for them, they're a harder one to find, because they use the frame for the regular cab long box for your extended cab short boxes. That's the same frame, it's just a bigger cab, shorter box. So if you want an extended cab or crew cab long box, you got to look for them, or if you want to buy a new one, you can special order, but at $40,000 to $60,000, I don't think so. You know, I mean, I can't afford one of them. If you can, good for you. But this truck, I like it. I want it. He don't want to sell it or give it to me. And unfortunately, when it comes time, it'll probably get scrapped. If I can, at that time, have a truck and can take parts off of it before he scraps it, if it gets to that point, which it eventually will, then I'll see what I can get off of it. But I'd love to take the front clip off of it, at least the headlights and the grill and all that, set it aside. And if I can get another 80s truck, even if it's like the ugly looking 87 to 91 design, and put these parts on that. It wasn't until, oh geez, was it 92? I think it was 92 when they changed the front end, the second, or well, that was the third time, that they changed it to just a single round window, or single window, because this was not in the newer design. The 96 model especially, that I know for a fact, I think it was like 92 to 96, this was eliminated, and it was just one window. And it was also 96 or 97, as some say, that was the last year for the vent windows, and then they went to a solid window. So this truck, you know, it's also got another feature to it that makes it a rare truck, because it was also the very last year, because in 96 or 86, I keep saying 90s, 86, they went to fuel injection. And under here, if I take the cover off, there's a carburetor. 85 was the last year for the carburetor. 86, they went to the fuel injected system, and from then on it stayed fuel injected. Now, in some ways, I think a carburetor is cooler or nicer because you get a different sound compared to the fuel injection. However, you get different opinions, and I got a piece of crap light here that does not want to stay working. Should just throw it out. I like the truck. It's got issues. I mean, you'd either have to take the cab off and repair it or replace it. Now, with somebody listening to this gibberish that I'm babbling away, when you take the cab off, okay, and you put a new cab on, does the VIN number come with the dash? If you take the dash off, does the VIN number stay with the dash, or does it stay with the cab itself? Because that's one thing I want to know. If you take and you put a new cab, say like I put a 96 cab on this truck, and I wanted, you know, to keep it the same VIN number and everything, would that come off with the dash, or would that stay with the cab itself? Somebody let me know. Thanks. Okay, here is a trip we took, I believe it was in 1989, and this is the 85 Ford. This was to Arizona, And as you can see, oh, hold on here, picture sliding, right there in the middle on the plow frame, it's like yellow or machinery grade yellow. That was the original color of the plow frame when it was new. And then we painted it black eventually. Then you see here, it's a picture with my father driving. It's the Arizona desert. And as you can see it in the background, truck was fairly new at this point. And then I was telling you guys about how the truck got damaged. It was in an accident. Here you have it. As you can see, there's headlight missing, and this is the passenger side, obviously. There's that picture. Then there's this from the driver's side, and you can see it a little more. Hood's all messed up, and the bumper's messed up, the fender's wrinkled, and you can see basically the grill and the headlight is all gone. So then here's the truck inside the barn, where you've seen my me working on my olds, and where you've seen me working on the same truck. And as you can see it better. All that in the driver's side's all busted out. Now, what ended up happening is they ended up replacing all the hood, this whole grill, the bumper, the fender, and all the headlight mounting, everything in there. This plow frame was actually bent back. Now, you can tell this was painted already in this picture. So we painted it in the 90s. And so there's the truck, you know, from the damage. And then here's a picture of us camping with the same camper you've seen in the previous video. It's all popped up and open. I don't remember where it was that we were camping, but that's a picture of it. Now here, you'll see there's a picture. I don't know if we were getting ready for a camping trip or just moving it around. But there's the truck sitting there with the camper on it. And if you notice, you'll see there's a piece of machinery sitting there. You've seen this piece of machinery in a previous video, and there is more video on it. I think this is around the time when we first got the machine. We've actually painted it some since, but I think that was right around when we first got the backhoe, and I'll have more videos on that shortly. Alright, in the previous video there I mentioned a 1979 Ford. So here it is. This is the 1979 Ford F-250 regular cab long box. This truck is green. It had a galvanized body that was painted. The galvanized actually held up better than a lot of the modern steel. This was actually the house we live in. Back around when we first got it, it used to have a basketball hoop. That's long gone. But, you know, I told you guys about the truck. That's from the back end of it. I don't remember what the size of the engine was. Here's a picture of it with a camper on it. Now, I'm not sure if this is the same camper that we have now, because there's a story on that. We had two Viking campers, and they were very similar to each other. But there's a story on what happened to the one. And then here's the picture of, you can see it with the plow frame and everything from the front. We had that in the family from 79 until 87 when we bought the 85 Ford. Alright, here's another truck that my father had. It's a 1972 Ford. I believe it was a F-250, because that was the common truck he liked. This one I don't know if it was a 352 or what the engine in there was. This truck was a very nice truck when he bought it. However, where he bought it from, there ended up being a problem with the engine in it. And he took it in under warranty, went through a lot of hassle to get it replaced. And I think he went through one, maybe two engines on this truck. And he finally decided he had it with this truck. Now, while it looked nice, the drivetrain, the engine, was annoying enough that he just had it with the truck. So he sold it to a family member, and then this truck ended up getting painted flat black and went out to Arizona. I have no idea what happened to it from there. But that's one of his other trucks. Alright, and here is a truck with quite a history to it and quite a story to it. This is a 67 Ford. If you notice in the pictures, it's different colors. There's a reason why that is, and if I have enough interest, I'll explain the story behind it. But it started out as a short box, and it had a 352 in it, and I think it was like a 3 on the tree or something like that. And so it started out as a short box and ended up a long box. So it was like a 150, whatever they called them back then, and it ended up being a 250. Here's another picture of it. Like I said, if I should get enough interest from you guys, I'll tell the story of how come it ended up a F250 long box from basically an F150 short box. This truck supposedly was a powerhouse, had all kinds of power, could burn the tires by the time you got to second gear and just about tear the tires off by the time you got to third gear. So let me know if you guys want to hear about it, and I'll tell you. Something else I thought I'd let you guys in on and know about while I was thinking about it is he didn't always have Fords. Not everything he owned was a Ford. He had a 52 Dodge flatbed, and he also had I believe he said it was a 71 Dodge Power Wagon. Now, he told me throughout time that at one time he had a Chevy flatbed truck, but he didn't like Chevys, and he knew that back in the 50s and 60s, GM had problems with their powertrain, their engines, so he didn't like Chevys. So basically, a majority of everything he owned was Ford, except for the 2 Dodges. But he didn't always own just Ford.